How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Brosumersiel, and we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, "Welcome to Brosumersiel. A similar landscape like in Brosum is waiting for you. It's flat but beautiful. Several really nice spots are there to be discovered by you. Map content: 152 purchasable farmlands, 139 fields, small to mid-sized, 4 logging areas, several selling stations, several production facilities, biogas plant, starting farm with cowshed, large dairy farm. The fences next to the fields can be sold in its entirety for those who need more space or wanting to merge fields. Enjoy your stay at Brosumersiel." There are mods required for this map, starting with the Old Cowshed by DMI 20mm Normandy, Cowshed 3+0, also by DMI 20mm Normandy, Dutch Shed Pack by Ref Farmer and DMI 20mm Normandy, EU Factories by DMI 20mm Normandy, Modern Sheds by DMI 20mm Normandy and Dutch Modding Inc., Farmhouse Pack by DMI 20mm Normandy, and Farmhouse Package Volume 2 by DMI 20mm Normandy. This map was created by Torben and is 131.13 megabytes to download. And if we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out here in kind of the western portion of the map, and you start out by owning farmlands number 21, 22, 23, 87, 88, 140, and 152. Farmland number 21, 22, and 23, those are all field grass. 87 is a wheat field that is ready to harvest. 88 is a field with no product in it. Farmland number 140, that is a grass field, and 152 is your main starting farm. Now, field prices do vary quite a bit, actually. So starting with some of these smaller fields: 83, 33,000, 49, 55, 58, going a little bit bigger, 73, 110, going even larger, 213. Let's get to some of these bigger ones: 168, 147. Got a couple of grass fields: 187. There we go, 273. It's all relatively smaller, but because of the smaller smaller fields, you are still going to have to build up towards the eventual larger fields. It's going to take you a while to get there because of the small fields. Let's see. Next, take a look at the animal pens. You do start out with a cow barn. Contracts are available on this map. Production chains, you do not have any to start out with, and there are no collectibles for this map as well. If we take a look at mods specific to this map, nothing under the buy menu here, but under the build menu, there we go. Starting out under buildings, there is nothing under this entire tab. Under productions, though, if we look at factories and scroll to the right, you will see Brosumersiel right here, the biogas plant, 90 kW. Let's see, nothing under selling points, greenhouses, orchards, under generators, you do have a windmill right here. Let's see, under animals, there we go, under animals, nothing under this. You will see some of the required mods here, but no mods specific to this map. Nothing under decorations, but under landscaping we do get several additional painting swatches, and we get some additional trees, as you can see right here, and some plants. Now, starting out just behind me here, we do have a sell point. This is the Hotel and Maritime Restaurant sell point. And now we have to do a little bit of jogging to get to the next point of interest. On this map, it's almost like you came in on the bus and now you're making your way to your farm. So we keep heading in this direction through this little neighborhood. And then right over here in this little corner is your starting farm, right here. Now that we're here at the starting farm, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the starting equipment. Under the Buy menu and Owned Items, under Small Tractors, we have a Steyr 8150 and a Brower 6105. Under Harvesters, the Deutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H. Trailers, we have a Rudolph DK 280RL and a Welger DK 115, the header for the Deutz-Fahr. Plows, we have Pottinger Servo 25. Disc harrow, we have the Maratona MG 300, excuse me. Seeders, we have the Nordstein HK25 NS 3030. Fertilizer spreaders, we have the Bradell K105. Slurry tanks, the FarmTech Super Seas 800. Mowers, the Sepnusel F240. Tedder, the Pottinger Alpenhit 4.4H. Windrowers, the Pottinger Top 342. Balers, the Massey Ferguson 1840. Animals, the K-Brand RA 142. Front loaders, the Quickie Q3M. Under front loader tools, the Alba pallet fork and bale spike. The header trailer for the Deutz-Fahr. And weights, you have the 10-winkle FGB 600. And that is all the equipment that you start out with. Right here, you have your sleep trigger. Kind of have to go around everything. And then over here, we have our cow barn. So just on this side here is the trigger for your cows. You have room for 35 of them. Now, I believe this is the milk trigger right here. Feed trigger right there. And I believe the slurry trigger is right here. Around behind me, we have the silo here and a water fill point right here. And then coming all the way over here, repair trigger right here. So I'm going to go into this building here. I'm going to grab my Steyr tractor, and we are going to start making our way around the field, or making our way around the map. So coming out the way we came, gonna backtrack just a ways. Now between the 25 miles an hour from this tractor and the distance away from each one of the points of interest, it does take a little bit of time between each of the points of interest, but I will say it will give an opportunity to kind of check out the map and the landscaping that's there. Now, it is a flat map, as was stated in the description, but you can tell that the you can tell that the map maker did put in quite a considerable amount of effort to try and dress up the map and make it a little bit more snazzy, even though that it's a flat map. Right here we have the pizzeria sell point. Hop back in and head to the next point of interest. And right here we have the carpentry. You can purchase the carpentry for $60,000. Inputs here with the wood cell trigger right there. Output right there. Now continuing down the road, at this intersection we're going to make a left. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time to get up to the next point of interest, so likely I'm going to fast forward it to get up there. just realized I didn't unmute the microphone. Here is the spinnery. 60,000 to purchase the spinnery. Right here you got your input, and over here output. Here we'll go ahead and just jump the fence here. And this is the dairy. You can purchase this for 70,000. Input here, output here. And tucked away back here, we have another water fill trigger. That little blue looking pipe work right there. And then coming up, gonna make a left. And coming up here to my right is the second farm on this map. Now, if we take a look at the map and kind of show where we've been, what we've seen up to this point. We started here by the Hotel and Maritime Restaurant. We then walked all the way down to our starting farm, checked out everything around here, grabbed our tractor, came back up this road over to here where we saw the pizzeria and then the carpentry, down to this intersection, went north, up and around to here, and then down to here where we saw the spinnery, then the dairy, came across the way here to the water fill trigger, and now we are here. If we purchase farmland number 142 for $706,800, yes. Go ahead and purchase that. You'll see a couple of new triggers pop up. Now you'll also see here the little yellow dot, which it goes with the key that is up here. Now I translated what these are because I had no idea. So the first one, the marker in blue, is the starting farm. So if we look over here, see the little blue dot here represents the starting farm. The yellow dot is, I think it's roughly translated to Rough Dairy Farm. I think that's what it is. But you'll see why it's Dairy Farm right over here. So we have a cow barn tucked away in the back. Back here we have the slurry trigger, feed trigger right here. Our cow input, room for 80 cows, and milk trigger. And then tucked away right over here. Whoops. Right over here, sleep trigger. And then in this building to my right is a repair trigger. Let's go and grab the tractor and continue on down the road. Now, I think this next part coming up here is something that is going to need some attention, is going to need to be fixed. So the next point of interest, or at least what the map shows as the next point of interest, is right over here down this road to my left. But you'll see there is no trigger, no point right here. But on the map, there's very clearly that little blue circle, which indicates there should be something here. If I took a look at the map and show where we've been up to this point, we saw we were here at the dairy. We then came to this secondary farm, saw the cow shed and the sleep trigger, the repair trigger as well, came right down to here. Now that is the animal dealer symbol. The problem is there is no animal dealer trigger right here. There is one later, but it's not here. I'll show you where that's at in just a second though. So pulling in over here. Bring my notes back up. To my left is the lime station, and then beyond that, right there, is the grain storage sell point. And now heading down the road just a bit further, we'll hit the next point of interest. And while we've got a little bit of time here, I want to go ahead and start laying the groundworks of what I think about this map. So far, there are spots in this map that are really stunning. There's a lot of really nice views, which is really weird for me to say because of how flat the map is. Normally, anybody who follows me for a long period of time knows that these flat maps are not my cup of tea. But there are some very nice looking areas on this map. So, and again, surprisingly so for me to say that. Color palette is nice. There's a pop of color every, along the roadsides and all that stuff. With the flowers, you got the oranges, you got the yellows, and whites, but it's not so much that it's overwhelming and gets that kind of cartoonish vibe that I talk about. And I'll continue talking about this more in just a second. Right here, though, is the animal dealer. As you can see, this trigger does work, but if we come down here, we saw the fake animal dealer trigger right there, the lime station, grain storage, sell point, all the way down to here. Animal dealer, that is regarding the sell point in the back, which we haven't come to, but there is the animal dealer trigger right here. So it's here, it's available, just not shown on the map. But if you want to purchase animals for your pens and pastures, you can purchase them from this location using this icon or the same icon at the pens and pastures directly. Now, if you do that, though, you will incur an additional fee. That additional fee is a representation of a delivery fee. Now, as you can see, we have a couple of cow barns. Adult cows are $100 fee per cow that you purchase. So if we load into our main cow barn there at the starting farm, $3,500 to fill up the barn. That's quite a bit of money. Now you can save that money by bringing an animal trailer to this location specifically, load into the animal trailer, and deliver the animals yourself manually. It will save that delivery fee, and depending on how many animals you're wanting to load in, it can save you quite a bit of money. And it doesn't matter whether the trailer's leased or owned, you can bring it here and use it either way. Now, tucked around the back, right over here, is the animal dealer sell point. Now we'll hit the next point of interest, which is just down the road. As you can see, tucked away just back there. Continuing down the road right here. Up here we're going to make a left. Several bunker silos right there. And here we have the actual biogas plant. You can purchase it for $435,000. Solid inputs here, liquid inputs here. You've got your liquid outputs right over here, aka your digestate. Now I will go ahead and purchase this because I meant to check something earlier. Nope, just a standard biogas plant. Well, standard as in crop types and outputs. So now to kind of continue talking about this map. So the one thing about this map that's, I don't necessarily deem it a negative or positive, but there's a great distance of travel between points of interest. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. If you're having to do multiple runs to a place like the biogas plant that's way tucked away out into the corner, and it's really kind of obscure to get to, it's going to be annoying rather quickly. So that part can be a negative. But it's also dependent on the types of vehicles you have. Like right now, starting out, you just have a tractor that can go 25 miles an hour. You have another tractor that can go, I think, 15 miles an hour. So it's going to take forever to get out to this particular location. You know, there's no real good direct routes. But like I said, there's like this area here is just kind of built up and nice enough because of how the map maker has put up all these trees that kind of block out the vision and block things away, even though it's a flat map and there's very wide spaces where you can just see far into the distance. I don't know, it's one of those where it's kind of a plus, kind of a minus, you know. Electrical charge station right here, and back here, farmers market sell point. Now heading just down the road to the corner over here. And see off to the left there, the big building. Stop right here. Hop the fence. Shop trigger right here. Repair trigger just over here. And then over here we have the grain mill. For $96,000 you can purchase this. You have your inputs here, outputs here. Now again, I think this is another issue on this map. You have a gas station right here, but if you pull in, there's no functioning triggers to get gas for your equipment. So I don't recall seeing a fuel tank or a gas station anywhere on this map. So that means that you're gonna have to install something, or else eventually you're gonna run out of gas. There's plenty of electrical charge points because there's another one right there. But outside of that, there's, as far as I'm aware, no gas station whatsoever. But again, I feel like that's an update that's going to be needed. Another electrical charge point right there. Bakery right over here. $50,000 to purchase that. And tucked around the back here, input and output. Over here, we have the shopping mall sell point. And then lastly, right over here is the fast food restaurant sell point. And that is it. That is the map tour for Brosumersiel. And now it is time to render my full opinion. I've kind of sprinkled it in along the way, but now it's time to talk about everything. Now, as I mentioned, the color palette is, I'm going to lean towards above average. I'm not going to say I'm in love with it, but I'm not going to say that I don't like it either. Like I said, the kind of smattering of color throughout the map, you've got the reds, yellows, orange, and whites, is still rather toned down, but you do get these little areas popping up here that are really kind of thick and again, borderline that cartoonish feel. So it's just one of those kind of, you know, just doesn't pass the quote-unquote sniff test. It just doesn't feel right. But outside of that, though, the general look of the map is nice. Now, the one thing that I'm personally not a huge fan of are the kind of squared off fields, but this map kind of gets away with it because of features like this. So normally the reason I don't care for squared off fields like what we have here is that it's because there's just no real challenge to it. But when you've got borders like this with this big ditch here, that kind of provides you a little bit of an issue. You can't just set a worker off, corner to corner and be done. You have to, be strategic and think about how you're going to move forward. You also have a lot of these fields where it's bordered by trees or by fences, and again, you're not going to be able to just right away turn your worker loose to do whatever it is that you want to do. So yeah, I mean, when everything's all said and done, there are some things that I like about this map. There's others that I don't necessarily care for. It's just kind of a mixed bag. So with that kind of being said, it's probably when the 0-5 scale comes out, it's probably going to be a 3. Somewhere in the middle. I don't necessarily not like it. I don't love it. It's just somewhere in the middle there. But again, you do get these kind of areas where it's actually very nice looking. You've got the kind of campground there in the corner there, and it's just butting up against what looks like the sea out in that direction, which again is nice. There's a lot of nice little nooks and crannies. But the other thing that also kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth is if I take a look at the map here and you take a look around, you'll see there's quite a bit of areas that aren't purchasable. And it makes sense, that they're not purchasable. This is a bunch of like a subdivision kind of area, some more houses and stuff. You've got this kind of built up area going out to the sea. So I mean, it makes sense as to why, but you've got these areas here where there's some forest here that you could theoretically do something with. You could expand out the fields and make them, a little bit more unique. What else? This is something else that I'm not a huge fan of, but again, it's one of those I understand. The biogas plant here, you can purchase the biogas plant, which we did, and you can utilize it. But you also have these bunker silos right here that you can't utilize because you have to purchase them separately. And you're already spending over $435,000, I think it was, $435,000 for the biogas plant. So you got to spend an extra 14 grand almost just to use the bunker silos here at the facility. So it's just an additional purchase that's, again, just kind of rubs me the wrong way. It is what it is. It's not a huge devastating thing, and it's not really affecting the grade whatsoever. It's just one of those that's kind of meh to me. So yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I'd give this a 3. I think that it's about down the middle, average kind of thing. But again, there are a lot of parts about it that I do like, but some parts I don't, and that's why it's average. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.